Gokula Ranjana Kana Jaya Radha Kalachanji Radha Kalachanji Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Nilamadhava Radha Nilamadhavari Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Rasa Bihari Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Shri Vrindavan Dham Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavan Dham Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Swami Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Nitai Gauranga Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gauranga Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Srila Guru Deva. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Stotrasta Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaya Charanarvindam Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya, BBT Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Stotrasta Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri 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 Guru Parampara Ki Jai. Shri Sad Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Adi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Brajabhumi Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Purushottama Chetra Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Gokula Puri Dham Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Srimati Tulasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Srimati Bhakti Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Bolo Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Sankirtan Mahajagya Ki Jai. Jugadharma Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai. ISKCON Texas Yatra Ki Jai. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books and Prasadam Distribution ki jai. Jai Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Vyasa Puja Mahatsava ki jai. Jai Bolo Shri 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 Panchatattva ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shri 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 Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsimha Deva ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Govinda ji ki jai. Shri Shri Chota Radha Kalachanji ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Kalachanji ki jai. Shri 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 Radha Kalachanji Dham ki jai. Shri 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 Radha Kalachanji Dham Gaura Bhakta Brinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Hare Krishna, welcome everybody. Jai Prabhuji. So today we've listened to a class by His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Gurudev. Today being his Vyasa Puja day. It's also very amazing that today happens to be Mesha Sankranti as well. Mesha Sankranti means that things multiply 400,000 times. So it's like celebrating 400,000 Vyasa Pujas at the same time. And as we all know, Vyasa Puja is a celebration of the spiritual master, and our philosophy is Guru is one. So whenever we're celebrating any spiritual master's Vyasa Puja, we're celebrating the Vyasa Puja of every spiritual master. And for us, the ISKCON prime spiritual master is Srila Prabhupada. So it's a very nice day that Mesha Sankranti set in at the same time, so we can all benefit from that. And this is a class given by Srila Tamal Krishna Maharaj in 1981. Famously, he asked us to remove all of his lectures prior to 1990. He said he wanted all his lectures prior to 1990 deleted. And the reason he said that was because prior to 1990, when he gave lectures, his lectures were very heavy. They were always very focused on Krishna consciousness at a level that some people might feel a little offended. Please don't feel offended. These are the words that actually help us go back to Godhead. So there might be some strong words that will be spoken today, but we decided to give this because the topic was a very nice topic, to hear perfectly and to speak perfectly, because really we are a preaching movement and our purpose is to reach out to others and help them become Krishna consciousness, become Krishna conscious. So in that sense, we thought this would be a good reminder, especially for the disciples and all of us, that we have to actually hear nicely and then speak nicely so that others will become Krishna conscious. Thank you very much. Today, after this, we'll be celebrating upstairs in the darshan room. That's where he would meet all of us. And that starts at 10 o'clock. Please do join us for that program. And as usual, we'll culminate the program with a Mahaprasadam feast. And then you'll have the afternoon off. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
One announcement, we might have Harinam tonight. So stay tuned. See if we have enough devotees. We'd like to do Harinam this evening, Saturday evening at probably across from Trader Joe's on Greenville Avenue. Would be about 7 p.m. So check the WhatsApp groups and hopefully we can have enough devotees and we'll do Harinam tonight. Hare Krishna.
I just want to announce everybody who can't turn up should turn up, because it's like you're doing 400,000 Harinams. I mean, if you're not going to be turning up at Harinam, at least turn up today's, so you can say I did 400,000 Harinams and then be benefited. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
The following is a morning lecture on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th. The following is a morning lecture on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th.
Lagging a little bit. Give me a second.
Canto, Chapter 6, Verse 24. By His Divine Grace, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Gurudev. Recorded in Suva, Fiji, September 2nd, 1981.
Therefore, Sarveshu, to all, Bhuteshu, living entities, Dayam, mercy, Kuruta, show, Saudidam, friendliness, Bhavam, the attitude, Ashudam, of the demons, who separate friends and enemies, Unmuchya, giving up, Yaya, by which, Tushyati, is satisfied, Adhokshajaha, the Supreme Lord, who is beyond the perception of the senses. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, my dear young friends, born of demons, please act in such a way that the Supreme Lord, who is beyond the conception of material knowledge, will be satisfied. Give up your demoniac nature and act without enmity or duality. Show mercy to all living entities by enlightening them in devotional service, thus becoming their well-wishers. Purport. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 18:55, Bhaktya mam abhijnati yavan yas chasmi tatvataha. One can understand the Supreme Personality as He is only by devotional service. Prahlad Maharaj ultimately instructed his class friends, the sons of demons, to accept the process of devotional service by preaching the science of Krishna consciousness to everyone. preaching is the best service to the Lord. The Lord will immediately be extremely satisfied with one who engages in this service of preaching Krishna consciousness. This is confirmed by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad Gita 1869. Nacha tasman manusyeshu kaschin me priya kritamaha. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. If one sincerely tries his best to spread Krishna consciousness by preaching the glories of the Lord and his supremacy, even if he is imperfectly educated, he becomes the dearmost servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is bhakti. As one performs this service for humanity without discrimination between friends and enemies, the Lord becomes satisfied and the mission of one's life is fulfilled. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore advised everyone to become Guru devotee and preach Krishna consciousness. Yade deke tade kaha Krishna upadesh. That is the easiest way to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By such preaching, the preacher becomes satisfied, and those to whom he preaches are also satisfied. This is the process of bringing peace and tranquility to the entire world. Bhaktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shanti richate. One is expected to understand these three formulas of knowledge concerning the Supreme Lord: that he is the supreme enjoyer, that he is the proprietor of everything, and that he is the best well-wisher and friend of everyone. A preacher should personally understand these truths and preach them to everyone. Then there will be peace and tranquility all over the world. The word sauridam, friendliness, is very significant in this verse. People are generally ignorant of Krishna consciousness, and therefore, to become their best well-wisher, one should teach them about Krishna consciousness without discrimination. Since the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, is situated in the core of everyone's heart, everybody is a temple of Vishnu. One should not misuse this understanding as an excuse for such words as Dardra Narayan. If Narayan lives in the house of a Dardra, a poor man, this does not mean that Narayan becomes poor. He lives everywhere, in the houses of the poor and those of the rich. But in all circumstances, he remains Narayan. To think that he becomes either poor or rich is a material calculation. He is always Sat Aishvarya Purna, full in 6 opulences, in all circumstances. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutalaya, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pacharane, Nirvishesha Shunnavadi, Paskata Deshatarane. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Jai Advaita Gadadhar, Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, here we find Prahlad Maharaj is advising his friends that they should not feel any enmity towards anyone. Instead of seeing on the material platform, they should see on the spiritual platform. Vidyavanaya Shampane Brahmane Gavani Hastane Sune Chaye Visapakicha Pandita Samadarshana. Pandit, a real Pandit, is one who sees with equal vision a Brahmin, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. Generally, people are making friends and enemies in this world based upon this bodily conception of life. Especially, people are very affectionate towards their family members, and they tend to be very exclusive. They give preference to their family, or perhaps their community, or in an extended way, they may give preference to their nation. But all of these are simply extensions of the bodily conception of life. A genuinely advanced soul, he finds all living entities to be dear, because he sees them in connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because Krishna claims everyone as his child, therefore we may see all living entities as our brothers. In this way, a devotee does not want to harm any living entity. And once one becomes Krishna conscious, he would even be hesitant to do harm or to kill even an ant. Just like Migrari, the hunter, after associating with Narad Muni and becoming a devotee, when he wanted to offer obeisances to Narada Muni, there were some ants on the path, and because it would have caused them harm, he first of all pushed aside all of the ants, and then he offered his obeisances. So a devotee is so kind that even he will not do harm to an ant. This is an example of Krishna's equanimity. Because Krishna says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu, name dvesho nistriyaha. Krishna says that he is neither a friend or enemy to anyone. He was equally disposed to all living entities. So because our Lord Krishna is like this, we must also learn this. And the best way to learn this is through chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, because this chanting of Hare Krishna will cleanse away all kinds of misidentifications. Once one chants in a regular way the Hare Krishna mantra, he identifies himself as the eternal servant of Krishna. And as such, he no longer finds the bodily conception to be his real identity. He sees himself as a pure spirit soul. So this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra will lift us up to the spiritual platform. And it is on this spiritual platform that we can actually do good for others as well as for ourselves. So long as we are on the material platform of this bodily identification, we can only benefit others as well as ourselves in a material way. If we want to actually help, and that means in a permanent way help, because temporary help is not so good. Temporary help may be temporarily beneficial, just like blowing air on a boil may give some temporary relief. But actually it is when the boil is drained that you get permanent relief. So in the same way, unless you can actually lift someone up to the spiritual platform and help him to avoid taking another birth again in this material world, how have you given permanent benefit? If you try to do some good for someone, it will only be temporary, because if that person has to take another birth and is in just as much ignorance in his next birth or in her next birth, then how have you given any real benefit? Therefore, we should realize that the best welfare work that we can do for everyone is to make them Krishna conscious. Unless we can actually work to make someone Krishna conscious, we have wasted our time. Just to give some temporary material pleasure to our father, our mother, our children, our relatives, our family, your friends, or anyone, that is really doing a disservice. According to Isha Upanishad, If you do not help someone to become Krishna conscious, then you're actually hurting them. In fact, the Ishopanishad goes as far as to call you Atmahana, or killer of the soul. One who does not help a soul to become enlightened is actually killing that soul, harming that soul. So this way we can calculate that practically the whole world are killing each other, because they are helping each other to go deeper and deeper into ignorance. Except for the devotees of this Krishna conscious movement, who is actually taking away the covering of Maya. No one. As we explained last night to the people at that mandir, these so-called Brahmins and Pandits are not at all Brahmins and Pandits, because they are cheating and the people they cheat want to be cheated. So we have to create a class of Brahmins here in Fiji, because without Brahminical culture, it is animalistic society. Brahminical culture means that there will be human civilization. Just as with the body, the head is most important to give direction how the body should work, so there is requirement now in the social body of the society at large in Fiji that there should be some head, some direction, some guidance, some persons who know what is to be done and what is not to be done. And this service should be performed by this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Therefore, all of the devotees of ISKCON should first of all learn very carefully what are the rules, what are the regulations, what are all of the different scriptural injunctions, what are the instructions of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. And after learning these, they should put them to practice in their own lives. Because example is more important than precept. Even if you may speak nicely, just like many of these Pandits and Brahmins, they may know some shlokas, they may chant some mantras, but their example in their own personal life is as fallen as the next man. And therefore, they cannot purify anyone. Unless you are pure yourself, your association cannot uplift others. Just like we find in the Western countries, there are many scholars who have studied the subject matter of the Gita. Even there are some scholars who have made big theses on the subject of Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami, and the teachings of the 6 Goswamis. They're so learned. And yet, although they teach courses in this subject matter, they have not been able to produce even one devotee of Krishna, which is the actual goal, the actual purpose of Rupa Goswami's writings, Sanatana Goswami's writings, is to make people Krishna conscious. So these scholars who are teaching the 6 Goswamis' books, because they are themselves not following these instructions, all of their students are simply in ignorance. Their students cannot actually realize the import of these important teachings. So most important of all is that you have to begin to practice Krishna consciousness yourself. And the more strictly you practice it, the more you will become empowered to preach. Because preaching means to give Krishna. And if you want to give Krishna to someone, you have to have Krishna to give. You cannot give what you do not have. But Krishna will not allow you to have him unless you are pure. Krishna is the exclusive possession of pure devotees. Krishna is not the possession of mixed devotional service. In the beginning, when you come to Krishna consciousness, there are different people who approach Krishna, but their motive is not always pure. But by associating with pure devotees, all that is impure can be cleansed out of the heart. Nastara prayeshu abhadreshu nitam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utamashloki bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By associating and serving the pure devotees, as well as hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, all that is impure will be cleansed out of the heart, and devotional service will be established as an irrevocable fact. So once you get the association of a pure devotee, you should not misuse it. That means that you should inquire from a pure devotee about what is the goal of life. And when your doubts and questions are completely erased, then you should take up devotional service with full enthusiasm. No hesitancy. You should inquire from a pure devotee how you can advance, and after being instructed with full faith, you should take his instructions to heart and practice them very carefully. Now, if you do this, then yasya prasada bhagavat prasado yasya prasada nakatir katopi. By the mercy of the spiritual master, you will get the blessings of Krishna. And when Krishna blesses you, when Krishna is pleased with your activities, your life is perfect. Now here in this shloka, we get the easiest way for pleasing Krishna, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Nachatasman Manusyeshu Kaschin Me Priya Kritamaha. The Lord is most pleased. There is no servant more dear to him than one who preaches the message of Krishna consciousness. There's nothing that pleases Krishna more than to see you going out to the fallen conditioned souls and extending to them the knowledge which you have had. Everyone is meant to be a guru devotee. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered Amar Yare Deki Tarika Krishna Upadesh. Amar Agai Guru Har Tare Desh Yare Deki Tarika Krishna Upadesh. By my order, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, by his order, you become a guru, and wherever you go, whoever you meet, speak to them the message of Krishna. That means message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. It is not very difficult. You don't have to concoct something new. You simply have to try to repeat without any adulteration what you have heard from your spiritual master. This is called Guru Parampara. It is not that we want to make some new statement, just like the Munis. Munis, their idea is to always come up with something new. They're always agitating their mind. And whoever can come up with something original, he is considered the best. But we are not trying for that. Our business is how correctly, how perfectly, exactly we can repeat the message which we have heard from our spiritual master. Just like the ripened fruit of the mango tree is passed down from one person to another until it reaches the ground. So our business is to pass down the message which has come from Krishna. And if we are pure via medias, then there will be no less an effect from hearing Gita from our lips as there was when Arjuna heard the Bhagavad Gita from Krishna's lips. Just as when Arjuna heard Krishna speaking Gita and his whole decision was changed, he decided to give his life for working for Krishna. Anyone who comes into contact with a devotee who is in parampara and repeating the message in parampara purity, that person's life will change. That is the proof that you have heard properly. When you have heard properly, then you will speak properly. When you have heard properly, then you will want to preach to others. And by preaching, your hearing will have become perfect. Simply to hear and not to preach means only half the job is done. You will not realize perfectly. Unless you try to explain this knowledge to others, you will not properly understand this knowledge. The teaching process is twofold. First of all, you have to hear perfectly, and then you have to speak perfectly. And only when you have repeated what you have heard, that is the proof that you have understood. Simply to hear, you may forget. But when you have to again bring forth this knowledge, this requires proper realization. Because in preaching, you're going to meet so many opposing elements. In preaching, you're going to find people are not agreeable to what you speak. Therefore, you'll have to be able to convince them. But convincing means that you'll have to have realization, because each time it's going to be slightly different. So how you will explain it, that you will have to depend upon Guru and Krishna. That you will have to depend upon for your knowledge of this from your spiritual master in Krishna, how to explain it. But if you make this effort, if you go and distribute this knowledge, then you will become very, very dear to Krishna. And who should we distribute this to? Everyone. It is mentioned that the Panchatattva, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, they made no distinction who they gave this knowledge to. So similarly, we don't make a distinction that Krishna is only meant for Indians. Sometimes people think like that. Krishna is an Indian god. But Krishna is not Indian god. Krishna is the god of everyone. He is as much the Lord of the people, the Fijians, as he is of the Indians. So we should not think that, oh, this Krishna consciousness movement will only be taken up by Indian people. Actually, it will be taken up by the Fijian people just as much. Only thing is, nobody is making an effort to give it to them, because you're making distinction on this bodily platform. Indian people are my friends, Fijian people, they may be not understanding in the same way. You are making a discrimination on the bodily platform only. But the Krishna consciousness movement is meant to spread to every town and every village. All people of the world are meant to take the Krishna consciousness, because there is only one God, and we know who that God is. We know that that supreme God is Krishna. No other so-called religious group has any information about who God is. They do not know clearly who God is. They worship God or they sing about God, but who God is, what does he look like, what is he doing, this information is only available in the Hare Krishna movement. And without this knowledge, what is a question of loving God? How can you love what you cannot see? How can you love what you don't know anything about? Simply saying God is great, God is the creator, God is all merciful. But who is that God? Only this knowledge can be given by the Krishna consciousness movement. So we have to work in so many ways to teach people about God, Krishna. We have to teach them by giving them pictures of Krishna, by giving them books about Krishna, by giving them the prasad of Krishna, by worshipping the deity so they can come and see Krishna and bow down before Krishna. So much has to be done to spread Krishna consciousness. And the devotees, we have so much to do that there's too much to do even in 24 hours. We should feel that 24 hours is not enough time each day for serving Krishna. If there is gap in our devotional service, empty hours, that means there's some defect in the way we are serving Krishna. Because really there's too much to do and too few people to do it. So let us dedicate our lives to work cooperatively. Unless we work cooperatively, there's no question of spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. We cannot afford to fight with each other. We cannot afford to tell people, you get out. Because there is so much to do and so few of us. We need all the help we can get. Therefore, devotees should try to be very kind to each other, very helpful to each other, very encouraging, very forgiving, so that all of us can work together. Because we need everyone to make this fight successful. We cannot afford, when we have so few people, to lose even one man or one woman. That will be too much of a loss. So whenever you see your god brother or god sister having trouble, you preach to them. Do not allow them to fall to the hands of Maya. Maya is very strong. Maya will try to keep you here within this material world because she's a servant of Krishna. She has been instructed by Krishna to test everyone, to see whether you are ready for going back to home, back to Godhead. Therefore, Maya is business. She's been asked to do this by Krishna, and she's been empowered by Krishna to do this. So try to understand how powerful Maya is. Devi hi esha guna mayi. Mama Maya dhiratyaya. Very difficult to overcome Maya. But mameva ye prapadyante Maya me tam tarandite. If you depend fully on your guru and on Krishna, then Maya becomes very easy to cross over. It becomes very easy. So the business of God brothers and God sisters should be to help each other, to depend more and to remember more the instructions of the spiritual master in Krishna. This should be our relationship with each other. Not that if we see our god brother, god sister in Maya, we think, oh, ha, 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 now I'm more advanced. You see, I'm more advanced. I will let my god brother, god sister fall to Maya's hands so that I can be the best devotee. This is a very neophyte condition. If anyone has this type of mentality, you should understand that you're not very advanced at all. In fact, one day Maya will catch you, because this type of pride is not at all appreciated by Krishna. One who serves the devotees, that means one who helps the devotees to advance in spiritual life, is most dear of all to Krishna. There's no better service you can do than to help your god brothers and god sisters to become more advanced in spiritual life. Even though they may not appreciate it always, you should do everything you can to help them advance in Krishna consciousness. So, as it is stated by Prahlad Maharaj, show mercy to all living entities by enlightening them in devotional service and thus become their well-wishers. Are there any questions? Under control. Questions? Pass it around. None.
All day in there because they don't want to do any work, spend money outside. They just want to go in there to come away from the work and not work. And they work in the sense of doing material type of work. And the devotees are here because they don't want to do any work. And they don't see this as work.
So, is a teacher in a normal school, is a teacher performing useful service, would they say? The teacher's not doing any so-called work. The teacher is instructing, right? Just like you're a teacher. You have to use your example. You say, I don't have a shop. I'm not a business person. I'm teaching. So they're also teaching. So why do you say that their teaching is less important than what I'm teaching? In fact, it's more important, because what I'm teaching can only help you for a few years, but their teaching can give you eternal life. Why do you say a teacher is not performing important work? Do you mean to say that unless someone works hard, like an animal, like a beast of burden, that's the only type of work there is? Some people's work is intellectual work, teaching. And there are different types of teaching. Not only material teaching, also spiritual instruction. So they're giving that kind of teaching. Actually, we should understand that they're performing the most important work of all. And it's not easy. If you think that it is easy, tell them, then you can try and just live the way they're living. It's not that they're living very luxuriously. They sleep on the floor, they live in an ashram, they only eat once a day. It's not that they only have a few possessions. So, first of all, they're doing very important work. All day, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, they go out and they preach and teach people. And as far as what they personally take for their own needs, they have minimized very much. Actual thing is that you have forgotten how to recognize the value of a saintly person. In other words, the world is now in such a material consciousness that unless someone is working very hard for their selfish purposes of earning money personally for themselves, they think that someone is doing nothing and wasting their time. But formerly, such persons were considered the best of all human beings, and their association was considered to be most important and valuable in human life. That's why the Brahmins are given so much respect. Unfortunately, in Fiji, there is no real qualified Brahmins. Therefore, people have lost respect for the Brahmin society. But without Brahmins, it is like a body without a head. That means that the only way these people will respect someone is if they're working hard like a beast of burden. The head doesn't work like the feet work, but we don't say the head is not working. The head is thinking, the head is giving guidance, instruction. That is just as important. Of course, just to further preach to them, we will also gradually, we want to develop a Hare Krishna village. And in that village, we will show all the different types of work. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. We will do all types of work. Some people will be teaching, some people will be preaching, some people will be administrating, some people will be doing Krishna conscious businesses and protection of the cows and cultivation of the crops, and some people will be doing physical labor. We will show all of these so that people can see how devotees are not lazy at all. They're working just as hard as anyone else, but instead of simply working for their own sense gratification, they're working to make the world a better place. They're working to sacrifice in their life to help others. Give them answers like this. That should convince them. By reading these books carefully, you will get all good answers. Every day you should put aside some time for studying the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Especially Prabhupada's, don't read other Gitas. Read this one because the purports are unique and special. They're really the true meaning of the Gita brought out. So if you read every day from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, you will get the ammunition, the information by which to counter these different questions. Because as you become Krishna conscious, people will challenge you. No doubt they're going to challenge you. So you have to be able to satisfy their questions properly. Ours is not simply some sentimental movement. We have got solid philosophy, and we have to know that philosophy and be able to convince others of it. These other groups mostly are just sentiment. Therefore people have lost, especially young people, they don't respect these groups anymore. This is the age of science. So people want to hear logical explanations. And we have got that. There's one verse that is in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita. If anyone is logical and reasonable, then they should simply apply their logic and reason to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they will become completely satisfied. Because there is no one who is more merciful than Lord Chaitanya, and people should apply their logic and reason to see what is the benefit which Lord Chaitanya has brought to this world. There is no greater benefit. No one has brought a greater gift to the human society than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, please apply your logic and reason to study this gift, this unique gift which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is offering, and see if it is not the best of all offerings. There's a verse like this in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita. Another question? Kumar? Question? Suma? Anybody have any questions? All right. So, what will be the program today? Damodar?
So, I'm going downtown early and putting up some more posters and inviting more people.
What will all the devotees, is it going to be that 2, 4, 6, or 8 women going to cook today again?
Come downtown today and do Sankirtan downtown and invite people on the streets to come to today's service.
Then who will do that? Vishnu Priya will go out and preach. Chandra will preach. Suma will preach. These three. And who else? Kanta will preach. 4. And which men will go out and preach this morning? Kumar will go out. Chaitanya Chandra will go out. Nanda Kishore will go with Parsuram. So he will stay here till 11 and then go out. That means, will everybody come back?
Sounds like at the end they were organizing a Harinam. Pretty. Does anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts?
I was very much appreciating the point that Srila Gurudev was making about when your God brothers, when your God family is having difficulties, to really be there for them and to support them. I just really appreciated that. We want to lift them up, and by supporting them and caring for them when they have difficulties, we'll please Krishna. I really, really like that point.
I was really appreciating that point too. He said to preach to them, right? But the idea of preaching is to be able to see where somebody's at and what they need. We don't just preach like, this sloka and this sloka. We have to actually see the person and know them, right? And have a personal relationship in a way that we can give them some direction in the way that's best for them, What a great point. Any other comments?
Thank you so much for the beautiful class. I mean, it's so instructive. 2 points, that one in Srila Prabhupada's purport, that he mentions that everybody is it's a temple of Vishnu, because Vishnu resides in everybody, so everyone we come across is a temple of Vishnu, and that's how we, how we respect people. Because a temple we respect, so we should be respecting everybody. And the other thing that from Gurudev's lecture towards the end, when he was mentioning that every one of us is so important, because there is too much to do and we are too less of us. So we cannot afford even a single man or woman to, get them out of the movement, because there are not many, which is hard at times to work together. But if we think in a broader perspective that we are not many, it may look, because we are living in a community, so everybody seems to be a devotee, but not really. When we go out, when we are on a flight, office, or somewhere, we realize we might be the only one. So that was very, very, very instructive. When we serve, that's something I will try to keep in my mind. So thank you. Whoever chose the lecture, it's really amazing one. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
One thing I think I'd like to comment about is how amazing it is when you hear from the pure devotee that you feel so uplifted in one sense and so small in the other sense. When he said that, when he was mentioning that 24 hours a day, he said, what time are you wasting in your day? When is it that you're not doing something that's Krishna consciousness? And I felt so encouraged to think about the times in my day that I'm not doing something that's adding value to my relationship with Krishna. But outside, at the same time, I felt so small, because I was like, man, I'm, caught. He's caught me. Dang it, And so I thought that that's such a wonderful thing, that how you can feel so small, but yet you're encouraged. And that's an art, right? That's true love. As parents, as teachers, sometimes we have to say things that are tough. And if we say it only with the purpose of pleasing Krishna and helping the person truly go to Krishna, as Maharaj was saying, that what benefit can we give somebody if it's temporary? So the pure devotee is always thinking about the benefit for the eternal. And so when they give you that tough time, or that you feel uplifted, but yet you still feel small. And it's okay to feel small. right? It's okay to feel small in the sense that we feel meek and humble, right? But we also need to feel that other side of it, that it's encouragement. They're giving us the pathway to progress and encouragement to stop those things that are keeping us from our eternal relationship with Krishna. And Nityananda Prabhu, I was hoping. Anyways, does somebody else have a comment? Thought? Chakri Prabhu.
So it seems the consensus is that we should have Harinam tonight. And after listening to the lecture, it fits in perfectly. Srila Gurudev said that by chanting Hare Krishna, we can end our misidentification with the material body and identify with our spiritual nature. And then we can, by purifying ourselves, then we can purify other people. And then by doing that, then we become very dear to Krishna. We become extremely dear to Krishna by giving Krishna consciousness to others. So going on Harinam, this is like the perfect opportunity to fulfill all those goals. And last week we had a really nice Harinam. The devotees were very enthusiastic. And so many people, as soon as they came near us, they just picked up the mood and they started putting their hands up and dancing. And Nandini was there and they were dancing together. And so many people appreciated our Harinam last week. So it really does work. So please come and join us this evening. Somehow it worked out. Normally I do a book table on Saturday, but I couldn't get permission at any of my locations. So I guess Krishna had another plan. So this is a really nice day to have Harinam and also, please Srila Gurudev by doing this. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Anybody else with any comments, questions, thoughts? Somebody raising a hand? So I'm not sure the exact schedule for today. 10 o'clock. Yes, I know 10 o'clock we'll be meeting up at Darshan Room, and then we'll start the program. Of course, there'll be Vyasa Puja, some words about Srila Gurudev, and then Prasadam. You know what we do. We glorify the pure devotee, we sing, we dance, and we feast. Hare Krishna.